Hey, my friends, welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm your host, Danny B, and obviously this is my co-host, my wife of almost 24 years in July, Jamie B.
Yes.
Also, her segment, What's Cooking, Jay? It seems to be doing pretty good, Jamie.
Yeah,
You're having some fun with that.
I kept saying my nerves, and Danny's like, what does nerves mean?
What does nerves mean?
It means nervous. I already said you might have to interpret some of the things that I say.
I can be critical at times.
Yeah, you can be, Danny.
But not all the time.
I can handle it, though.
I give my share of compliments.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is that Easter shirt you wore, that was the most horrific looking pink Miss Crabtree thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know what I was thinking with that shirt.
And you know what? It just reminded me of Miss Crabtree from The Little Rascals. Oh, Miss Crabtree, Chubsy Wubsy. They were fighting for her. That's beyond.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, it was all like,
it was horrible.
It was just really bad.
Like
it didn't look good.
Like a spinster.
Well, I was thinking, I actually bought it last year and I never wore it. And I was like,
you wore that once prior and I made comments. Yeah.
I didn't wear that
one.
And
you made a lot of comments before we went on air, so I should get even, but I'm not. And before you make any comments, yeah, I told you they suck. I said bet them on opening day. It got rained out. They haven't won a game. No, it's Tuesday as we're recording, so they might win tonight. Maybe not. Yankees off to a great start, so good for you, Yankee fans, but it's a long season. Final Four on Saturday. I'll get into that in just a second, right? What are we cooking today, Jay? Share them a little secret, is it a dinner thing? At least it's a dinner thing?
Yes, I moved on to the dinner.
Okay.
Yes, chicken meatballs.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to stay tuned, for the recipe and the way I make it.
Yeah, it's not made like your traditional meatballs, so I would advise you to hold tight for Jamie's fabulous
some of it is.
It's different. Yeah. It's different. And, let's also talk about, I want to hear from you, gravy or sauce, because we talked about that.
It's definitely sauce.
Yeah, I call it sauce as well. So this week, actually earlier today, I just got back from another job with my son.
I know, working hard, Danny.
No, I'm having fun. He makes all the money. I make the car payments and the insurance payments, but
isn't that how it goes?
It's all good. I'm having fun. We just moved in. Mike will appreciate this, our producer, because he's a musician.
Yeah.
He plays the guitar. Mm-hmm. I felt like I just moved Eric Clapton out. Honestly, or Jeff Beck, but he's dead, so I couldn't have done that. The guy had an amazing collection, 30, 40 different guitars, keyboards, older fella.
Yeah.
And it was, I almost broke my back, though. It was raining out. I fell down a hill. I kept my balance. I felt like Dorothy Hamill for a second. I don't know how I didn't hit the dirt, or the mud, I should say, but tweaked my back a little bit, but it's all good.
Well, it's because you're so athletic. You saved yourself.
I was surprised. Jada's like, oh, there's just a few guitars. I'm like, look, I can help you, bud. I said, I got the podcast today. Will I be back in time? And it's like, oh, it's nothing. It's all like... When I looked, I'm like, bud.
Danny comes back. He's all wet, like,
muddy.
My back.
I was, at the end, the job was done. I was going back to the vehicle and the mud and the thing went and boom.
But you know what? It's nice that you have bonding time with your son, Jaden.
I wanted to mention this. If you see this, Jamie doesn't burn me with cigarette lighters or anything.
That actually looks like that, Danny.
I'm not sadistic. I told you I was going to see the doctor and I had some sunspots. So if you see me a little spotty, they burn them off and they peel away. So, yeah. But we also went to Dr. Sackman. I recommend if you guys are girls in the Valley, go see him for your Botox or any type of...
He's a really great guy.
The guy's old school. He was a plastic surgeon. He put your face back.
Reconstruction.
He's famous. And now he's doing a wonderful job. And so I would recommend if you are...
He's also an ENT.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really great guy.
You get along with him because he's a
great eye. He has a great eye.
He's an artist.
He's, very talented. Yeah.
So shout out to Dr. Sackman, Scott Sackman, local guy.
And he's not greedy. And what I really like about him...
He doesn't oversell you.
And he asked me for some advice, which I thought was kind of cool that he asked me about a certain treatment, if I would be interested, not that he was trying to sell it to me, but like he's trying to get the input on some of my age, because it would be a treatment he thinks that the younger generation, like girls in their 20s would want, you know? And he doesn't really want that type of clientele, like, a 25-year-old coming in looking for Botox. And he really is into like more the anti-aging and more natural look, not making you look bizarre. And I really, truly like that because that's for me what I, appreciate about it. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm into the anti-aging. I'm okay with little fine lines and stuff, but I definitely don't want to be looking like an old hag before my time.
Okay. Now, since we're on this topic of doctors and stuff, Ozempic, right? That's how it's pronounced. Obviously,
Ozempic. Yes, I just watched a documentary on that yesterday.
Let me share what little knowledge I know about it. It's for diabetes, right?
Yes.
But they found that it helps you lose weight, right?
Actually, I think the ingredients in it was originally for weight loss, but at the time
wouldn't cover it.
They knew that they couldn't get it covered under insurance, so they kind of just left it there, right?
Imagine that.
So then through testing and all these years, they realized it actually is beneficial for so many other things that will be in the future, but it's really great for diabetics.
But they're using it for weight loss, right?
So people use it as weight loss, and unfortunately, then the people who actually need it because of their diabetes can't get it. And then also people who are using it for weight loss, they don't know if they will get their next treatment because it's always on back order. And once you start this treatment, you have to stay on it. It's for the rest of your life. It's really expensive. So if your insurance doesn't pay for this, it's at least $1,000 to $1,400 a month for the rest of your life.
So I'm sure we're going to get some feedback, some opinions, and that's fine. I look at it this way. Unless you're taking it for what it's meant to be, diabetes and health issues, it's no different than a bodybuilder using steroids. You're trying to get to a goal faster.
Well, the difference
unless it's health related. For those that are just looking to get a quick fix and lose 20 or 30 pounds, to me, that's no different than doing steroids.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. It's like, where's that fine line of like who really needs it? You know, and a lot of these celebrities are out there maybe only needing to lose 50 pounds.
The Kardashian things, right? They were doing it?
The Osbournes.
Oh, the Osbournes?
This is what I had reposted about Kelly Osbourne. Yes,
didn't the once nice girl that I used to like, what was her name? The heavier girl that lost weight? Chloe? The one that got cheated on.
I don't know if she used that or not. I have no idea.
That's the one that was cheated on by the basketball player.
I have no idea.
First of all, that's a mistake in itself, dating a basketball player, so shame on you. But
well, that's the kind of guys that they like, yeah. But anyway, I think that the people who need to lose like 50 pounds and like you just like gained a couple of pounds and you're looking to lose it, like you can definitely lose that on your own. It's really for people who, because there are people who are obese, but they are not diabetics yet.
Let me ask you a question.
But they can't get it covered under their insurance because they're not diabetic. So they don't get to, you know, unless you have, you know, $1,000 to $1,400 a month for the rest of your life. This is a drug that you have to stay on.
Interesting. But you're not on it, so you have no direct knowledge.
No, I don't have any direct knowledge of it.
So you're just passing your opinion.
It's definitely my opinion. I find it fascinating and interesting with the weight loss world and obesity. And, you know, they had people were doing the gastric bypass surgery. That was actually in this documentary. It was a family of 3.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to hear all about this show now for the whole hour.
They all had gastric bypass surgery. And then at least like 10 years later, they all gained their weight back.
And they ate each other.
So they feel like... well, that's part of it. They talk about that too. People making fun of other people. Let me ask you this.
If you're trying to lose weight, right, would you recommend your chicken meatballs?
Yes.
If you're trying to lose weight.
Me personally, I've never been like overly overweight to have to lose that much weight. I mean, when I had the kids, I did.
I didn't ask you that.
If I was
said
like
if somebody's watching their weight, should they eat your chicken meatballs?
I would say eat everything in moderation. Yes, or no. Yes, I already said that.
You know what? As we're sitting here, I feel like I'm like asking you questions.
It's chicken.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So it's
well,
good.
anyway, you hold tight. Yes. At the end of the show, you'll check it out. What's cooking, Jay? Segment 3. This is episode 6 of season 11. I don't even know if you can say season 11 because we were on again, off again, but we talked about this briefly.
What you called it.
Keeping It Real started back in 2013, and you know who kind of pushed me into doing it? Coco. He was like, you should get a podcast going, and I said, me? I didn't know nothing about it, so I started, it stopped, and...
Did you already talk about this before?
No, maybe not. I don't know, but if not...
Right. Well, if you don't want to talk about my...
Yeah, it was after I started, Michael? Yes, it was after I started calling into the church back in December or November of 2012. Can't believe it's that long ago. And then, he said, you should get a thing, do sports. And I did. I started off with this, it's a great guest. It was a really fun show. But again, I talked about it, my original producer, Andy Tomasino. Okay. I hope you're out there still, Andy. I haven't heard from you.
Yeah.
He took a job he was a camera guy. He was a photographer, excuse me.
He went to Dubai.
And he went to Dubai, and he actually told me but listen, it was understandable.
Mike's like, I would too.
No, but listen, it was understandable because he left me for Gigi Hadid. That's who he was doing.
Oh, okay.
So his first major gig was filming
Gigi.
her.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's how it started. And we did talk about that real brief. We also wanted to cover a couple of other topics besides Ozempic, right? We made that point. We talked about your chicken meatballs.
And if they're healthy enough to eat
what
on
else?
A diet. And yes, they are. And everything... No, I shouldn't say. Everything is
fried. Once it's fried,
anything is in moderation.
Anything fried is not recommended when you're on or trying to lose weight.
It depends on what diet you're on.
And some pastas, yours is the protein. And again, you'll see her recipe. And it's pretty simple.
It depends on what type of diet you're on.
It's true. It's true. But I just asked you a simple question because most people that are trying to lose weight, first of all, if you're on that Ozempic, from what I hear, you don't even want to eat, right?
Well, that's the guy had said in there, the father, he was like, I have nothing now.
I was ready to take a drink out of the microphone. I was ready to pour that microphone in my...
He's like, I have nothing now. I have no pleasure. Like, I used to love eating food, and now, like, I can't eat it. It makes me sick.
Food is everything. Food
doesn't
is beautiful.
taste good. Like, he doesn't want to eat. And then his wife's like, yeah, well, because she's happy because she's like in her skinny jeans. And she's like, yeah, well, then what, are you going to have a stroke? And then I'm going to have to change your diapers and everything. I was like, she's mean.
Hey,
but she got a point.
Hey, I had a heart attack. You didn't have to change nothing.
Well, that's a crazy thing because not everybody that is overweight is going to have a heart attack and die. I mean, I personally think it's your quality of life, like, not so much your quantity, it's like your quality, like when you bend over and you can't breathe when you're tying your shoe, you have a problem. You don't want to like feel like that. If you're chasing your kids around and you're out of breath and you can't chase them, you don't want to feel like that.
I binge eat. I ain't gonna lie. Everything I do is when I drink too much. When I eat too much. But I do balance it out, and that's important. Is balance in your life, working out.
Well, I would be curious.
I should start doing my little workout videos.
You should.
My little
really
2-minute, 3-minute workouts.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of people like. You don't have to work out. In my opinion, anyway, I don't think you...
Because when people say, like, genetics...
This is my... Okay. You go cook.
I won't steal
your thunder. You go freaking
thunder.
cook. Let me talk.
And you go pay the bills.
That's what I do. And that's why I work out, so I can stay alive to pay the fucking bills. My purpose in life, I'm sadistic, is to stay alive to pay the bills. Is that sadistic?
Okay, get to your point.
No, a little quick. My workouts are real quick. 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
At home, my workouts are a bunch of 6-minute workouts.
Like
I'll do 6-minute workouts 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And that's how I've stayed in shape. I used supplements in the past, like over the counter.
Yes.
The Nugenic stuff you see. And
which they definitely
stuff
do
you
help.
buy at GNC. Definitely helps out.
Definitely helps.
Did I dabble with the steroids back in the day? 40 years ago? Absolutely. Okay. We all did. But I was never really on it. Yeah. I never, you didn't
I'm not into that, yeah.
But no, my thing was quick workouts, and you got to let your body rest. You need plenty of sleep, too, which a lot of people at my age, they're deprived of. I was talking to Sabatino the other day, and Sabatino, stop driving that Uber thing. Every time I see you bumper to bumper, you're going to have a heart attack, or you're going to get carjacked. So stop that nonsense. What was the point of this fucking conversation?
Start bitching about people's careers right now. I don't know.
I know. I got off track. I had a
At
little.
least the guy's making money.
No, but there was a mess. There was a point behind this mess.
About you working out. You were talking about your working out. How sexy you are.
I never said nothing about the sexy thing.
All your muscles. Yeah. See. Yeah. See coming to life. He likes that.
I actually am so sore today from just moving fucking guitars.
Yeah.
But they weren't. There was 30 or 40 of them. It wasn't. He's telling me, they're so light. They're like violins and fiddles and all that other shit.
Well, the funny is,
Next thing I know, I'm picking up keyboards that my.
Jaden's like very slender. He's very skinny, but he's very strong.
Yeah,
he's very
strong. He weighs about $125 with a pocket full of quarters.
Yeah.
But
he's very strong.
One of the pieces was like 180 pounds itself. I told the guy, this thing weighs more than him and right around my weight. But I did have a message for the Sabatino thing. I forgot what it was. I'll think about it maybe.
Working out. Maybe you and Sabs need to do a workout video.
You said you dabbled in steroids and then blah, 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 you were talking.
Yeah, but Sabatino never did. So you might want to take a look at this.
Well, anyway, my question is, right, so people will say genetics. This is where I get...
Brain fart.
I get confused, and it's interesting to me. So people will say, oh, it's in my genetics to be obese, or like people will say it's your genetics or our kids because they can eat whatever and there's no fat on them. Is that their genetics? But like, really, your mother and your father, well, you don't really know. You think you know who your father is, but your mother,
just when
she
you think
gained weight as she got
nothing.
older.
No, that's the thing in our family. What I've learned to know about my family is when you think you know
There's many
nothing.
people inside of families
Literally.
that like only a few people are,
my mother was my mother was heavy when she died.
Yeah.
She was.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
she was pushing 300.
So is genetics so much of like what's inside or like the weight on us? Because I always find it interesting when they say that, and it's more like, is it more people grew up with parents who fed them very unhealthy food, enforcing food? I know back in the day, kids couldn't even leave the table without finishing their meal. My mom was always like, you didn't eat enough. Like, she would always be like pushing on, eat another plate. Where now they learn, just when your kid's done eating, they're done eating. If they don't finish it, that's fine, know? So I wonder if that's because I see a lot of people like eat and they feed their kids, which is fine.
We should just do a whole segment on food.
Bagels in the morning, like that's probably one of like we're talking about diabetes. Like that's one of the things. If you want to end up getting diabetes, have a bagel and cream cheese every morning. It's like Dr. the worst thing for you.
But you're a Google-holic, though.
I am.
You've learned all your remedies and cures through Google.
Google University, baby.
It puts you in a state of panic.
Degree.
All that did was put you in a state of panic.
Talk about state of panic, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm a paranoid person. So we see these on Fox News. Yes, we watch Fox News.
We used to be loyalists to NBC until we found out
big time.
Then we turned on them like
then
real
they
fast.
real
fast. They weren't
now
always.
Some of them
they weren't always
like Matt
like
Lauer. Right, he was like sexual harassment.
The guy. How about the guy that got caught jerking off on camera? He wasn't from.
That was so gross.
He was off on the Zoom call. Remember him? He was like they thought
Savannah Guthrie, right? And now she's all like holy and religious, and she was actually on Fox, right? So they have LifeVac.
That's right. Please,
they have the LifeVac product. Well, instrument. It's an instrument. Yeah. So it's a choking device.
To me, it looks like a plumber.
And I ordered, it is basically like a plunger, right? So I ordered the whole kit. So this one stays home, and then there's two other ones. I'm going to put them in the car. And they're a life-saving device. Yeah, and so they plunge out, like if you're, if somebody's choking.
Especially younger and older people.
Younger and older.
The Heimlich can bust some ribs on the older people.
And children as well. I don't think this is approved for anyone under a year old, but after a year old, I'm 22 pounds. I think I was reading some of it.
The cops keep them in their cars.
The cops, the guy who invented them, he's trying to get the word out for like every school to have them because they save. There's so many. I don't know what the numbers are, but children die in school buildings from choking.
This device saved over 800 people already since its inception.
And it's like I get paranoid about it. So this morning I'm like, okay, kids, like I've been sending them text messages all weekend. Watch the video on how to use it, and then I'll tell you where I'm going to keep it.
It's a fucking plunger. You plunge in and pull out.
They're like, okay, yeah, mom. I'm like, really, asshole? Plunger. So then when you're choking, I'm like, I'm not going to get you the LifeVac, asshole. You didn't want me to get it. You're telling me I'm paranoid. And they're like,
it is. It's as simple as using a plunger. You snap on a little mouthpiece.
Well, you got to hold it. Yeah. So there's instructions to it. But anyway. I actually feel a lot better because hopefully I never have to use this on anyone in our family.
Me,
you can use it yourself.
On me. You notice?
But you know what? If you had something like this, right, and a child or someone else was choking and you and they weren't being able to like, remove it manually from like the Heimlich or anything, and you came and you rescued this person that was choking with this device, you'd feel really good about yourself having it. So yeah, that's why I'm going to keep it in the car. So I don't know if anybody else out there, parents,
order, go to Life,
yeah, because you got to watch. Don't order on Amazon.
Chinese
Those are
out
knockoffs.
there. You don't want to get the ones from China.
You can DM me if you're interested, and I'll send you their link. Yeah.
No, it's lifenet.net.
LifeVac, .net. Yeah,
because some of them come from China. They'll put poison in it. So
these are made in the U.S. and you want it right from the website.
Yeah, we've been buying more products from the U.S. market.
We have. We have cleaning supplies.
Yes, she's found a lot of nice cleaning products, concentrated, right? Very concentrated. It goes a long way, right?
Yes, yeah. You
Little
just add water to it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So you're
'Cause most
putting
of
a
the
little bit of
products-
solution in it, and then the rest of the bottle you put water in.
All made in the United. And speaking,
yeah.
Here's an issue I have. I don't know, you're not into the college basketball, but Iowa playing LSU, the girls team. You know that star Caitlin, the girl basketball player.
You told me
but
about her.
LSU's team walked out on the national anthem. There's some controversy, but you know how they refused to stand for the national anthem?
I just deleted someone for saying that it was a pain in their butt to stand for the pledge of the allegiance in
I guess
school.
the LSU...
I'm like, delete block. I don't see that.
The LSU... Well, it's not just the LSU team. You've seen players in the NBA, but I guess their thing is they never stand for the national anthem. I didn't know that.
That's
I don't watch most.
You know what? And we teach our kids, like when our kids see
That's
veterans
shameful,
or
honestly.
they talk to a veteran, they'll always say, Danny has taught them, thank you for your service.
Sure.
So when you hear the national anthem, when it's the pledge, you stand up.
Shame
I don't
on you.
care
Shame
if
on
you
you.
don't agree. You just stand out. Respect. It's called respect. And that's what everyone is lacking these days is respect.
Yep,
and you
sure.
have to respect the men and women who put their lives on the line every single moment of every single day
Right.
for us to bitch and complain that we don't want to stand for something.
That's my biggest thing. Again, I'm not a Democrat, definitely not a liberal. I'm not a Republican. But I
used to think I was a Democrat, and then I thought I was
just an
Republican,
American
and
that
now I
don't get
realize
it.
I'm neither.
I'm just an American that
Yes.
don't get what the fuck's going
Right,
on.
exactly.
And
But it's a game. It's a big game.
it's both parties, the major parties anyway,
it's a
of
big,
just playing
huge
games.
game.
And all we are is dominoes. That's it. We're little pieces
But you're
of the
talking
puzzle.
about the college, and that was another topic.
Another thing here,
Yeah.
college and no college. We saw a girl today on on Fox News. Fox News. She decided not to go to college.
She went to school for
and she
welding.
pursued a career as a welder.
Which I think is
and after
so
only
badass.
3 years of college, she paid off her loan already
Yes, she
to
did.
the
And
college.
she's working and making her money.
And she's already making a good living as a welder. So
Yeah.
they say that most of the younger kids now are leaning...
A lot of the kids are leaning towards
Well,
that.
how much
yeah.
is a good education at a major, like, I know Lehigh and Lafayette
I mean, you're
around
going to
here.
go between 30 and 60,000 a
Or
year.
more. I think
Yeah.
80 grand. Some of them, like
Something like
Lafayette and
that,
Lehigh,
yeah.
great
Yeah.
schools. I know...
Well, a lot of kids get like grants and,
some
stuff like
do.
that.
Some
yeah.
get full rides. But,
Yeah.
with the interest, at least no interest or 0.5% or 1%. They're
Right.
charging these... When are you're like 40.
I'm assuming majority of those kids are going to big schools. Their parents are paying for it.
Most
so
cases.
they're not really paying it back. It's their parents. They're privileged kids.
Not
that
always, though. Not
their
always.
parents
There are
paying
some
for
kids
it.
that
Yeah.
actually put themselves and do it all. And those are the ones that, hey, too
I
sad.
would say the kids that pay for their own college are actually going to graduate and do what they went to college for. When mom and dad pay for their college, right? Then they come out and say, I don't really like that,
I didn't
'Cause
even
maybe
wanna
mom
go
and
to this
dad
school.
pressured you
I didn't want to go to this school.
college and get a degree, but you didn't really know what you wanted, but they really wanted that, so that's what you did.
Okay.
And you went and had a great time, and now you have education to brag about.
All right, so we've covered the
Yeah.
life vac.
Life vac.
Life vac.
Yes.
Again, I'm not
Ozempic.
I did it because she was like going through her life. I just ordered a damn thing. I just ordered it already. Please leave me alone about the plunge. I got one in the toilet.
Okay, when you see the little video of the kid choking on a piece of candy,
Right.
and they tried to get it out, the police came. He had one of these in his vehicle and popped it
So what you
right
telling me
out.
we're going to have children in the near future?
No,
Because God help me. God help me. I need more than a life hack for that.
You see a child choking.
I can't do it again, man.
you know?
I can't. I'm
Kids?
gonna no more. No, please.
No.
I had enough.
I don't even
wanna
want
tap
pets
out.
anymore. I'm not getting any more pets. I'm like the kids.
I'm tapping out.
People will always, I miss my kids. When you get older, the kids get older. Oh, I miss them when they're young. I mean, of course it was nice to go through, but I did all that. Like, can't really say I miss, and I want to go back. A lot of people, that's what it is. I want to go back in time, and I'm good. I feel like I did everything pretty right with my kids.
You
I
were
really
great.
can't say
You were a great
I
mom.
should have done this
You're
or I
still
should
a
have
great
done
mom.
that.
You're
Thank
still a
you,
great mom, and you
Danny.
did
You're trying to get
everything, and
brownie
you were
points
there when
today.
I couldn't be there. So I
Yeah.
thank you for all that. And that's what I told the gentleman today that we helped move his guitars.
Oh, because his wife passed away too.
Yeah,
right?
well, I
so
didn't
it's a
get
vulnerable
into
time
it.
for him.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I just said, when my kids were younger, because he thought I was like some worker that came along with Jaden. I'm like, I'm his father. This is my truck. I pay
Yeah.
for it. I'm just helping him out, spending some quality time. And I'm stronger than him too. I had to mention. And he just said,
But
to
you're
me,
the one who
you know what?
pulled
I
that
said I
muscle.
didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time when I because I was the weekends.
With Jaden.
And he really appreciated that. He told me, you know what,
you're a good dad, Danny.
You know what, you try to do that. I mean, I'm trying to make up for it. I've always been there, but I wasn't able to spend the time.
Yeah, you're right, and now you are.
Even if it means me working and getting muddy and throwing out a disc and going to see a chiropractor in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, because you know what? Sometimes kids see, because dad has to work or mom, and they don't get to do those mom or dad things all the time because their parents are working them to, to give them a good life, and that's exactly what, you did. And I explained that to the kids. I said, if it wasn't for dad, I wouldn't have been able to have all these play dates. I wouldn't have been able to take you guys everywhere and do everything, because dad took that pressure off that I didn't have to work. Because I would have never, hands down, would have never balanced a career and kids.
This is a team.
Yeah.
It's always a team. And without her, before we close this show down and get into the kitchen and take a little gander at her chicken meatballs, you know what? You might force me into buying a bigger house. Well, buying a house, because this is not our house. We're in a nice townhouse since the pandemic. But now I need a bigger kitchen. I'm like looking at you now. I need you to have a gourmet kitchen. So you put me on a mission right now to go house hunt.
Oh, okay.
Just for this podcast. Okay. That's the only reason. Okay. I don't care about...
We're going to get a house so we can have a studio and a bigger kitchen. I got you.
Why not?
I like my little kitchen. Actually, I am pretty happy where we are.
It is very nice, though.
The happiest. It's just so crazy because where we live is where I was. I was brought up around Phillipsburg, Easton, and hightailed it out of here.
Never wanted to come back. Yeah.
Before we met. Well, before we got together, and I was like, I can't, I cannot have kids in this area. Like, I got to get out of here.
You were ashamed of the area, then.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's a go-nowhere place. I just extremely hated it. And, fast forward all these years later, I am, the happiest. And I also realized, and I guess what age, is it was never the place. It was always me.
I remembered I told you, I wanted to tell Sabatino, get the fuck out of the city. That was my message.
Oh, okay.
Leave the fucking city. Yeah. So I knew I would...
Well, I think Sabatino is going to do whatever is best for him.
I'm happy for him, Sabs. Yeah. You're watching, hopefully, and I'm very proud of you. You come a long way. You fought your demons, and you're back in your hometown, still fighting, staying away from the crap. So, touche to you, Sabs. And I don't want to get into a story.
Well, and that's the
thing. But we're all very proud of you, Sabs.
It never was the place. It's you. You as an individual.
But
it's your choices.
North Bergen is not North Bergen no more. North Bergen is not even recognizable.
Well, what's really bizarre is that we actually lived in Weehawken for some time with the boys, right? So they went to school and everything, and that's kind of the area Danny grew up in. So now they've both lived in an area we both grew up in, which is kind of full circle, I guess. My son, actually, my older boy, Jaden, he didn't want to leave Weehawken. No, he hated it when we left it, yeah.
He was really sad.
Of course, who would not want to, leave? I mean, he was living on the water there on the Hudson. I mean, come on. He woke up to the New York skyline every single day.
Honestly, Lisa Gallo, she posts, Lisa has that wonderful view as well from Boulevard East. The pit, it's beautiful. Every day was something different, whether it was a boat backing up in your face, a cruise ship.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
The
the lights,
the way it glistened off the buildings. It was just so...
the Empire State Building, they would light it up for different, holidays and stuff.
It's just every day you got a different view of something.
You did,
especially October when the sun would set.
Off of the glass building.
Right.
It's beautiful.
But again,
it would change all the time.
Now, it's better from afar, though. Its beauty is only from afar. Will you catch me in New York? I won't go to a Met game. I won't go to a Yankee game. I won't go to see Billy Joel. I don't care if it's his last concert at Madison Square Garden. I won't go there unless somebody has a check for $1 million for me. And that comes with security. I have to go, because I got to bring the check back.
Well, let me tell you something. Nobody wants to go to these places with him anyway because you're a pain in the ass.
Me?
You'll bitch the whole time.
We want to continue this argument?
Parking, driving, stuck in traffic.
That's why I'm fucking Eddie Albert.
What's good for one person is not good for the other.
You know Eddie Albert, Green Acres? Like, she's Zsa Zsa Gabor, and I'm farm living. But at that time, it was me that wanted to move to New York.
I am not a city girl.
But you did. Well, you drove around there like you owned the streets.
Well, I had to adapt.
And you know what? It was a good experience. It was like being on vacation for 16 months or 15 months.
Yeah, it was. We met great people, had a great time. But I love my life now, which is so much more simpler. I feel like we live
less is better.
Yeah, and I feel like we live for so much more than just physical thing, or like
spit it, Maseratis and all the stuff,
materialistic things,
all the high-end toys.
I feel like
and all
we are less living for materialistic things. Like, you know,
well,
before it was always like the house.
I was the one that always wanted the fancy cars and all that, the Mercedes. I
love my Nissans. I'm sticking with Nissans. I will never drive a Mercedes or a Maserati ever again. It wasn't me then. It's not me now. Honestly, I love my Nissan. I love my Pathfinder.
That was on me. That was on me. You never wanted that.
No, I didn't. I never felt like,
I did, and guess what? I'm going to go out right now and get another one. No,
you're going to work on that house.
The house.
I'll take the house. I'll take the house again.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's get into this kitchen here and see what the hell's cooking.
I'm going to make some chicken meatballs. If everybody would go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it.
And you get extra recipes.
You can DM me, and I'll give you a couple little tips.
And again, gentlemen, you know, I'm a very patient man, but some of these messages need to stop. I'm watching you.
Yeah,
wow. I really am, literally. You might be watching me, but I'm watching you. So anyway, thanks
and I'm watching you, Danny. I see what goes in yours, too.
It goes in what?
Yeah.
That's right. You know what? But the one thing...
Yeah.
My fans are in their 70s and 80s. You got nothing to worry about. Your fans are like perverted, dirty old 12-year-old boys.
He's looking for a sugar mama.
Who?
You.
I don't want a sugar mama.
No?
I'd rather have the real stuff at home.
Oh, okay.
I don't need nobody to take care of me.
The sugar and spice and everything nice.
But anyway, let's see what's cooking back there. And,
yes, everybody.
Why don't you go on there and spin things up here?
Yeah,
I'm a little excited. I'm getting a little hungry myself.
Yeah, okay.
Got to put some Bengay on my back first.
Let's do it.
It's time to get cooking with What's Cooking Jay. Grab a spatula, get ready to sway. Come on and cook with Jay, yeah, cook with Jay.
Hey everyone, welcome to What's Cooking Jay. I'm Jamie Biancullo, and today I'm going to show you how to make chicken meatballs. This recipe is so easy. I've been doing it for many, many years now. Simple, not a lot of preparation needed for it, not a lot of ingredients, which I really love. So what we're gonna use is you're gonna use your ground chicken, and you can use any brand that you want. I like the Nature's Promise. All their stuff I get from Giant. Nature's Promise I like. So you're gonna do a pound of ground meat. And you're gonna need, you're gonna make these just like you make regular meatballs. If you've ever made, you know, I'm sure a lot of people make regular meatballs. So it's similar to that. You're just gonna be using the ground chicken. And I'm gonna use 3 eggs. I already did some of the preparation to cut down on some time. So you're gonna use 3 eggs and you're gonna whip them. You're gonna whip these up. I don't know if you can see it. Whip them good. I always say whip them, whip them. Okay, you're gonna whip that up. So you got your 3 eggs. If you wanna use 2, that's fine. If you wanna use 4, that's fine as well. It kind of tenderizes the meat when you have enough, you gotta have enough egg in there. And one of the things to always do, even with your meatballs, is crack the eggs and put the eggs in first so that you don't forget to do the eggs and then you crack it and some shell gets inside of it and then you gotta go dig for it. So always put the eggs in first. I've learned that because I've done that before. And okay, so what we're gonna do is put the egg in first. Put the chicken in. Just do a packet of the chicken. Whatever brand. And I'm not even sure, this is probably 1 pound in here. I can't, unless I have my readers on, I can't see. But this is how I always bought it. And I just make it for, it's a good portion for 3 to 4 people. If you want for more, then, just do double every, all the ingredients. So then we got our ground chicken in there. You're gonna use parsley in this. I like to use fresh herbs when I can. I just, love the smell of them and, they look great and they taste great. But if you don't have this on hand and you forgot to get it, you could just use the dried parsley. That works as well. And I cut it up already, the parsley, but for people who might not buy fresh herbs, I was thinking, a lot of people don't know about food and different ingredients and spices and stuff like that. And you wouldn't know what to look for, or you get embarrassed, you don't want to ask anybody. But, always just ask somebody, like, hey, where's this at? Or what is this? Because for a while, I didn't know what certain things were, especially when I started cooking. But I love the fresh herbs. So if you get this, I always clean all my herbs, all my salads, all my vegetables. I always wash them before I use them. And then you just chop them. You don't start at the bottom. You don't use that part. You use the top part and you just chop them. And it smells so good. I love fresh herbs. So you just chop it up. But I already pre-made that. So we're gonna throw, I don't have the exact measurements for this. I just throw the parsley in there. I'm probably gonna add to it, so I'll just add after I mix it a little bit to see if I wanna use some more of it. Always use salt and pepper and everything. So salt, again, I always use sea salt. Salt it up, I eyeball everything. Pepper, you're gonna put the pepper in there. I'm going to be using, I use a whole bulb of garlic. If you don't like garlic as much, just use a few cloves. I love garlic. I mean, I literally make love to garlic. It's like my favorite spice ever. So not only do I add fresh garlic, I also put in garlic powder. So we'll put some garlic powder in. And like I said, I just eyeball everything up. I always put a little oregano. Oregano is one of those spices I just love for any Italian dish I'm gonna make. What else do we need? Oh, my garlic. So I put a whole bulb. I already cut it up and I put it in my blender here. So I'm just going to show you how I blend it. Just blend this up. Okay. These are great to have if you're just starting out with making food and trying different recipes. This is definitely something you want to have. So I just put all that garlic. This is like, I should call these garlic balls. I just love it, so good. So I'm gonna put all the fresh garlic in. You're also going to need grape tomatoes, and I already washed these and I cut them in half. So you cut them in half. So I put them to the side because this is gonna go into our sauce after we do, you know, when we fry up our meatballs. So this is in a really, a couple of extra few definite ingredients you need is Parm cheese. And I like the Locatelli Parm cheese. It's the best. And I've tried different like generic ones just because I'm like, oh, I'm throwing them in here. It makes a huge difference. You got to get the good one. So this is like, definitely want to use this good Parm. So like I said, I eyeball and I put a lot of Parm in there. Okay, so we just eyeball it all up in there. You want to see that in there. You just put all that in there. And then the breadcrumbs. I love the Progresso Italian breadcrumbs. It's hard to find these certain stores, and I've had to buy the brand store ones, and it's really not the same. These are my favorite ones to use. So again, I don't have exact measurements. I just eyeball everything up. So I'm just gonna throw that in there, and then we're gonna mix it. You mix it. And when you feel the texture of it, if it's not sticking together yet, you're gonna add more breadcrumbs to it. So you're just gonna add the breadcrumbs and you're gonna mix it. Yeah, I used three eggs in this. If you wanted to use 2, that would be good as well. This is a little more mushier. And different brands of chickens have different textures to it. This one's gonna be good, it's very tender too. And this is like very healthy and hearty meal to make. It's obviously the chicken and not the ground beef, so that's always good. And if you ever make meatballs, you know, you'll know the texture of it. You just want it to kind of stick together. But I am gonna add more fresh parsley in here because I really wanna see that. And we got our garlic, we got our garlic powder, we got our oregano. Yeah, that definitely looks good. All right, I got my towel. I should really actually be washing my hands after touching the chicken. I didn't think about that part, Mike. Okay, so we're gonna turn this on. So I put olive oil in here, and you just wanna coat the bottom. All you wanna do is coat the bottom, and I can swirl it around here a little. You can see you just wanna coat the bottom. You're not like deep frying this. because you're gonna cook the sauce in it, and you're gonna put this on like a medium to high setting, the heat on here. You wanna heat this up before you get these in there. So you're gonna roll these up, heat that pan up. You don't want it to like, you know, splatter when you put them on, but you want the pan to be well heated before you put the meatballs on. So I'm just gonna start rolling them so I don't have to take up too much time doing these. So you get a good portion out of, I mean, you can see, you get a good portion out of that 1 pound of ground chicken. And I tell you, this is like a really hearty meal too. I mean, like 2 of these and you're like full. I pair it with the Barilla protein penne, and that's one of my favorite pastas to use. I just only use that brand. They have like 10 grams of protein in it, which is like really great. It's all great ingredients in it. It's plant-based, so that's good. So we're just heating this pan up. Like I said, you want to use a medium heat. You don't want this splattering up together, you know, up on you. And keep rolling these up here. Let's see. Now with chicken meatballs, when you're doing the ground beef, those will shrink, you know, the meat will shrink. With the chicken, it doesn't shrink, so it stays the same size. So a lot of times when people are doing the ground beef, they make them bigger and then they shrink down. Or though a lot of times, my mother-in-law taught me that they'll crumble in the sauce if they're too small. You also have to cover them in the sauce or they'll crumble. So we get, you know, you get a good amount with that one package. And whatever spices, if you want to add different Italian spices, add it. You know, any of my recipes, if you want to add, you know, change it up, go ahead. You know, this is just the base of like how to make something different. I know a lot of people just change up the recipe a bit. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. We can start frying these up here. Yeah, that needs to be a little hotter. Okay. Yeah, this is good. This is a good portion. So you got a whole pot, and this is a whole 1 pot recipe. Can I pause and just wash my hands? I need to think about that.
So you're gonna let these cook down too, Jamie?
Well, I'm gonna be putting their stuff. I'm gonna let them.
Don't you have to stir it though?
No, I'll put it on low. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit more.
Oh, Daddy, you're not afraid of lightning anymore, huh? There you go.
Is my daddy boy down here? So you're gonna fry these up. Turn them a few times. Really, what you want to do is brown them. You want to brown them on all the sides. It's basically just like you would do regular meatballs with the ground beef. You're gonna brown all that. Oh, one thing I'm forgetting. So what we're gonna be making the sauce with, so this isn't your traditional red sauce, gravy, I don't know, I know everybody fights over that. I think it's called sauce, that's what I call it. Gravy is something you put on mashed potatoes, but hey. So, in College Inn, this is the only one. You gotta have this. Don't have that Swanson one. That's not good. This one's the better one right here, okay? So once I brown the chicken meatballs up, I'm going to pour this chicken broth over it. And then I'm going to put the tomatoes on top of that. And we're gonna cook that down for about at least a half hour. I would do an hour, but I know when people are, hungry, they get hangry and they want to eat. So as long as you cook it down for about a half hour, and the sauce will be good. If you want to cook it longer, that's great as well. I don't like these for too long. There's certain stuff that I like to cook only maybe up to 2 hours, let it sit. Because if not, I feel like then it starts like losing its flavor. Something about it I just don't like. It's not like the traditional regular meatballs. So we're gonna flip these. We want them to get brown. Yep, they're starting to get brown. And like these chicken meatballs, you can't, you gotta let these cook down before you eat them. I know when I make my red meatballs, the kids and Danny, they like to taste them, and I cook them down. They're still red inside, and we eat them. No, you don't want to do that with this chicken, the chicken meatballs. So you're gonna keep flipping them so you brown them all up. Then ultimately they'll cook down in the chicken broth with the tomatoes, and that will all cook down together. And it's pretty easy to do. And then I put it over the penne pasta or whatever pasta, or if you want to do vegetables, you want to be super healthy, then, eat it with vegetables. You can actually just eat it alone. It's pretty hearty. But I like it with pasta because I'm a carb girl. I like the carbs. I mean, who doesn't like the carbs, okay? And some people say they don't, but they do. So we're just going to keep browning these. I want to get a good brown on here so I can show you when, because you don't want to put the chicken broth on it too quickly, because then it's not going to cook right. You want to definitely get it brown. And you don't want to use a lot of olive oil. You just want to coat the bottom of it, because we're not going to take that olive oil out. It stays in. Everything stays in. So you're going to not want to use too much of that. You just keep flipping them around. Yeah, see, that's starting to get brown here. Yeah. It's definitely easy. Not that many ingredients. Like I said, the Locatelli Parm cheese is the best to use. The Progresso Italian breadcrumbs are also the best to use. And the College Inn. I know a lot of recipes, I'll say whatever one, whatever brand you like. For this, no, you have to stick to this, because if not, I don't know. Because I've tried these other products, these other breadcrumbs and stuff, and I just don't like them. They're not good. I'll just be honest about that. Yeah, these are browning up nice. So that's what you want. This right here, that's what you want. And you just want to make sure you get as much sides as you can. I know everybody's always in a rush to eat, especially when you get home from work and you're like, okay, I gotta make this. And this is something that you really can throw together and then let cook down while you get other things like cleaning up or taking care of your kids and doing a couple of extra other things before you sit down and eat. Because after you eat, you just want to relax for the night, right? Yeah. So we're just gonna let that cook down one more minute here, and then I'm going to show you. So the funny story about when I started using chicken broths, they changed the way that they packaged these. So when I opened it, and you can see it's the foil's broken, and I'm like, somebody opened this on me. I'm like, oh my God, I was so afraid. I dumped it out. I ran back to the store, and then I came back and I was like, what? This is how they make it now. I felt like such an idiot. Okay, so these are definitely these are ready. This is how you want to get it, this brown like this. So I'm just gonna flip this, then we're gonna add that chicken broth. Yeah, these look good. All right, now you wanna watch out though, turn this down a little because you don't want it to splatter everywhere. I don't want to splatter on. I'm just gonna go slow here. These are good sounds. Woo-hoo! My overhead fan is gonna go on. Okay, so you just want to see now it's like calm down. It's calm now. Look, that looks good already. So you're just going to pour that whole package in there. If you like less chicken broth, just use the smaller package. I like everything extra saucy and everything else, so Danny B will tell you that. So you're just going to put that in, and you're going to add all your cut up grape tomatoes, and you're going to add those in there. Yep. And then you're just gonna cook this down on a medium low and cook this down for at least like a half hour to an hour. No more than like 2 hours. And you'll be good to go. And I usually cover it for a little bit, which I should have had that ready, but I didn't. So we're just gonna cover it and let this cook down for a little bit, and then we'll come back to that. Okay, so we let these chicken meatballs cook down for about an hour, and I just want to let everyone know, because you know, with my nerves and everything, you know, I get nervous about doing these videos. I should have browned them a little bit more on each side. So you really want them to look like this and have it more around, but it's still good even if you just lightly brown them. It's still gonna, the flavor's gonna be there. They're gonna be great. So this has been cooked down for about an hour. And you can see this is kind of like more of like a soup type because it has the chicken broth in it. But this is what it looks like after it cooked down for an hour. Okay, and then I'm going to put this together here. And this portion is for about 4 people. I like to get it like soupy. I want all that flavor. And what we're gonna do is add a little bit, because you know, presentation means so much. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw another meatball on there just because we're gonna eat good tonight, baby. Okay, put a little bit more on the top, and you always want to top it with more parm. 2 things I love, garlic and parm cheese. You just top it up, and look at that. That is perfecto right there. Beautiful. Manja, manja, manja.
It's time to get cooking with what's cooking Jay. Grab the Keepin, turn off the thing, get it ready to play. We're mixing our flavors, making magic on your plate. With every sizzle, every stir, it's gonna be great. Turn up the heat, let the